Why is that not working? Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. If I had a reasonable sound technician, we'd be able to actually make it work all the time, but he's unreliable when it comes to sound. Anyway, hey, let's get going right on here. 14th of September. You'll notice it's even got the right date on it this time. And we are underway. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are expressing our views as affiliates only. We do not represent any of the companies that we affiliate with. So we will be doing everything we can to help you, but we don't give you financial advice. It would be somewhat illegal if I was to do that. But all I can do is tell you what we've discovered, what we found, what we're individually doing ourselves, and making sure that we have the option to get this all to work. And it's been, I've got to tell you, a massive joint effort. Some of the people involved aren't with us tonight because they've got commitments, but I can tell you there's been a lot of people put input in for what we've done. And that leads into my next slide. Individual commitment to a group effort. That is what makes a team work. Now, I didn't invent that saying. Some of you will recognize this guy's name. A lot of you won't. He's American. Vince Lombardi was one of the greatest NFL coaches in history. And he became that by understanding how to get people to buy into his vision. And he was an absolute genius at it. Before the days of the internet, before social media, before mobile phones, he managed to get people to buy into his vision. And I have to tell you that that's what we're about today. A number of people have seriously put a lot of effort into creating the situation we have access to today. And I know that we joke around about, between Dan and I, about what goes on in the world, but I can tell you that without Mr. McCloskey as a sound technician and Ms. McCloskey and Camilla and Mr. Crampton and a few people to sound things off, this is an absolute tough job to find outcomes that benefit everybody, not just us individually, but everybody. So let's get right into some of this, because here at Gold Rocks, we're committed individually and as a team to ensure that everyone goes forward together. Everyone goes forward together. We have not taken a single step in the last few months without considering what the implications are for every one of our members. Have not taken a step. And I have to tell you that a couple of us have taken a fair bit of flack. I personally don't take to being threatened very well. I don't take to being told that I just need to be a leader and follow the sheep. I don't see that as leadership. I see leadership as standing up when the going gets tough and doing the right thing. Not what everyone wants you to do that has a vested interest, but doing the right thing by our people. And that's what we're about, and we will continue to do that. And I am absolutely excited by the outcomes we've got. I don't think for a minute that Carrot Bars is going to fall over and disappear next week. That's just not going to happen. What we've got involved is a program where we can make sure that everybody gets an outcome. I don't know where it's all going to end up, but I can tell you that we've put a lot of effort into this. a lot of lost sleep, and we have a great outcome. We have an outcome for everybody. Now, we're going to be here whichever direction you choose to go, but we have an outcome. I'm excited by it. So welcome, everybody, welcome. Let's get in and resolve some of this information. As the companies that we affiliate with evolve, so too Gold Rocks must evolve. And I have to tell you that it's been a reasonably difficult evolution, but I'm very, very happy with the outcome. And as more information comes to light, we will have a whole lot of detail for you next Sunday, but this is exciting. Everyone goes forward together. We will not budge from that. We will not be distracted. We will not be conned. We will not be threatened. Everybody goes forward together. That's our roadmap. So let's get through some just cleaning up of what's going on in the world. If you've got commission pending, make sure you get your new card sorted. I know that it's difficult. I know there's been problems. I know there's a whole lot of us that have not been paid yet. Lots of us. And it's now going on for 4 months. And I am absolutely not happy with that. And I've been making a lot of noise about it to the point where I've been told to be quiet. And no, I'm sorry, I will not. Some of you out there have earned money that you're entitled to, and you need to be paid. Some of you have earned commissions by being in the right place and doing the right thing. And as a result of that, you need to be paid for that. We have an amazing option coming up. We'll tell you about that next Sunday. But in principle, we are absolutely committed to making sure that everybody has an outcome. Don't panic, Jonesy. We got gold, baby, and we got lots of it. We have an option for you. So keep sending your support tickets. If you send off a support ticket and you get a unique ID, a support ticket number, please use that when you reply or you have correspondence with the company about that particular email. Please use that number. It will speed up the process and maybe get some attention so that you can get that dealt with. So it's not going to be easy. I'm sorry. I can't help some of the things. I can make a lot of noise. I can ask a lot of questions, but I can't actually solve the problem because it's on the other side of the planet. Very soon we will have the ability to actually get hands-on and solve issues with our own ticketing system. So let's talk about the Freebay transition into carrot bars or from carrot bars. And this is the new notification that comes up on your carrot bars website. Now, there's an accept button. There's a skip button. Please make sure you understand the implications. Now, I don't know whether this is a good thing or a bad thing. All I'm saying, satisfy yourself that you're comfortable going down that road. Now, some time ago, I got involved in helping a group of individuals that were suing a company to get their monies refunded. And I can tell you that one of the biggest issues we had was identifying the implications of clicking the I accept button. I've sent off repeated queries to support at Carrot Bars to make sure that when we click the accept button, we are not disadvantaging ourselves. We're the people that built this business. I'm not prepared to see people surrender whatever they've built just because they want us to go to a new website. And no, I'm sorry, I don't have absolute faith in them. We should have learnt the hard way after the first time. But anyway, there may be nothing untoward in it. It might be a great thing. But you need to understand the implications, and we're trying to find that out. So the more people that send emails and say, please explain, maybe one of us will get an answer. So as that says, we are attempting to get clarification. And I've taken a bit of flack in the last couple of weeks about whether I am or am not supporting this process. And I thought about some of the life lessons that I've learned. And one of the ones that really came to me was the old Peanuts cartoons. And this is a classic, because here's Lucy trying to get Charlie Brown to kick the ball. And he says she must think I'm a complete fool because he's going to run up there and she's going to move the ball. So he runs up there, stops, and she asks him, what's the problem? Guess what happens? He comes screaming up to kick the ball. She moves it, and bang, takes a spill. We need to understand the lessons that we learn. If there's a series of behavior that we have no control over, but we see it happening over and over again, be wary of that. So I want to make sure that our team, have a clear understanding of what they're wading into when they go down the Freebay road. And just so you don't think I'm completely left field and don't know what I'm talking about, let's look at Brian McGinty's view. Gold director, big-time distributor, 30,000 people in his team. And up until October 2019 was building the Carrot Bars business very, very strongly. This is what he has put in place now in his newsletter that came out a few days ago. I personally have no interest in promoting an academy, as I can and do get top-class training via Eric Worre, Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, etc. on YouTube for free, and I already promote these to my team. Now, I've got to tell you, that's a huge step for McGinty. Got 30,000 people in his team. The other issue I have is that the new comp plan is almost completely a uni-level, which pays monthly. And one thing I loved about Carrot Bars was the dual team and weekly commissions. I've been training 100% commission salespeople for over 20 years now, and they generally live week to week. I also built my entire organization based on the left-right 25.50 for 80 euros principle, and 25.50 now pays 25 euros. That's instantly devalued my existing 110,000 units by 70%. Now, I don't know whether I'm misreading this or not, but a few days ago, I was challenged again by one of our members. And he said to me, you need to tell the truth, because we followed you from the last business to here, and if you start to pull the wool over our eyes again and we find out, nobody will ever follow you again. And I have to say, that's confronting, because I did not want to talk about this. But here we are in a position again where the company has moved the goalposts yet again, and we now find ourselves in a position of having to decide, do we go down that road? Now, we're not going to run away. If you decide to go down the Freebay road, we will support you in any decision you make. We'll be here. However, if you make that decision, please understand, they're in Switzerland. There are some things we can get answers to and a whole lot that we can't. But remember, Gold Rocks is committed to bringing you information on products that meet with our original intent. And that's what we need to focus on. I've had numerous discussions with numbers of you out there, understanding where this business is going, understanding what your needs were, understanding why I joined. I joined a gold business. So let's see what we do now. Here's a bit of information from Kitco News, because I'm going to keep focused on this, about why the gold business is important.
What will it take for gold to break out of its sideways trading range? I have Jim Wyckoff with me, Senior Market Analyst for Kitco. Jim, welcome back to Kitco.
Hi, Michael. Nice to be with you.
Look, we've had a real churn for gold. We started off August with some clear breaks through 2000, but in the last 2 weeks, I've seen really kind of this churn in the 1900 level. Can you tell us what's going on and what it's going to take for gold to break out of it?
Yeah, Michael, I think there's several things that have prompted the sideways price action in the gold market the past few weeks. First of all, you had much of Europe on vacation during the month of August, and trade in markets typically slows during that time frame, and including the precious metals and maybe the financial markets. Secondly, we have seen just a pause in a longer-term price uptrend on the charts. And this pause is not bearish. It's not unusual. It's just markets don't go straight up and straight down, and we're just seeing a bit of consolidation. But finally, I think the gold, silver markets have they may have factored into prices on a near-term basis all of the bullish fundamental factors that were driving them higher. And now they might need a fresh spark, such as a geopolitical event, maybe some new stimulus from the Federal Reserve, something like that. But I do think prices have not peaked. I think on a longer-term basis, you're going to see still higher prices.
Let's get into those catalysts in just a minute as we look toward the fall season. But let's sticking with that again, is that we now are in the fall season. People are back to work. Are we seeing an increase of volume? Are we seeing a little bit more clarity around this market?
Well, we're seeing some more clarity in the outside markets that are important to gold. We're seeing some higher volatility in the stock markets. The months of September and October are historically unkind to the stock markets. That could be a catalyst that could boost gold prices higher here in the near term. We've seen on the negative side, we've seen the U.S. dollar rebound a little bit just recently, and that's put a little bit of pressure on gold. So I think we are going to see more active markets in general the next couple of months, and that is going to make gold and silver more active themselves.
Can you talk about some major catalysts that you could see that could be moving gold coming through the fall?
Well, the U.S. election's coming up in November, and if there's any uncertainty regarding the outcome, if there's a dispute regarding the election, that's going to probably cause some anxiety in the marketplace, probably support gold. The U.S.-China trade relations are still strained, and the political relations are also strained. Just recently, we've seen the U.S. launch another salvo at China on some further restrictions. So that is always a factor. And then you've got the Middle East. That's always seeming like something's popping up every few months to unsettle the marketplace. You got North Korea. The other thing I didn't mention was all of this central bank liquidity that's been pumped into the marketplace the past several months. That augurs for problematic price inflation down the road. And I think the inflation trade for the metals markets as well as other raw commodity markets could come into play here in the next few months to support the gold market.
Is there also a concern from the broader market? Because this has been an unusual rally that we really have seen the gold being in lockstep with a broader uptrend in the markets.
That is unusual, and I've had people ask me that question before, and I don't really think there's a good answer. It's on any given day, it's perplexing to gold market traders. You look at historical price action, for example, just recently when the stock market sold off sharply. You would think that might cause some anxiety and some flight to safety into the gold market. Didn't happen. A few months ago, when we saw the stock markets rallying on some bargain hunting, you saw the gold market rallying too. So I can't explain that. I really don't think anybody can. It's just the way the market is at present.
Let's just talk about the other precious metals. How is silver looking right now?
Silver's looking just as bullish as gold. They're about the same. Now, the fact that the gold and silver markets have paused here in recent weeks, I want to emphasize that's not, from a longer term perspective, that's not bearish technically. It's just a pause in a longer term price uptrend. So the gold and silver markets are still looking pretty bullish from a longer term technical perspective.
Let's finish. On your today's note, you're also talking about copper and it having a near-term technical advantage. Can you tell us what's up with copper?
Yeah, copper's been trending higher for several weeks now, if not a few months, on a longer-term basis. The red industrial metal is very important for commercial building. And I think I follow about 30 markets. So it's kind of hard for me to remember exactly what the time frame was on the recent high in copper, but I think it was like a 2.5-year high that we've hit in the copper market in the past few weeks. So that suggests strong industrial demand for the red metal and to suggest still higher prices coming.
He's Jim Wyckoff. He is a senior market analyst for Kitco. Jim, thank you very much for your time.
You betcha, Michael.
Now, what do you think one of those geopolitical things might be in the South China Sea? It is going to be interesting to see what happens in the coming months. So let's have a look at what we've got now and where we're at. Everyone goes forward together. So Gold Rocks is going to help us all make money out of the assets we've currently got. Now, you can choose to go down the Freebay road, but we can only help you with information there. It is absolutely imperative that you understand the implications of going to Freebay. We can't get answers. It appears we're going to be forced to be a Freebay member to get access to the V999 coin. Now, I thought the V999 coin was the greatest thing that Carrot Bars was going to do. But if I have to be a Freebay member, I can't get access to the legal implications of that. I can't get access to who owns V999. I can't get access to where its smart contract is. I can't get access to what its intention is. I'm not sure that I'm going to click that button. But that's for every person to decide on their own. Make sure you get yourself comfortable with the decision you make on that. Then we've got digital systems, Bitcoin, Ethereum, silver, and gold. We have a lot of information coming through about that. And it is interesting to see how this is coming together. Stephen has just said he spent 3/4 of an hour on the phone with Carrot Bars and they answered his Carrot Bars questions but couldn't help him with Freebay or Carrotbit. Yep. Interesting, isn't it? So it's interesting when you look at where this is all ending up, because in the middle of it, we now have an Australian gold supplier. Purchase, storage, and supply of gold. Now, I've got to tell you that I was accused a few days ago of being a scaremonger because I could never supply the funding to do an Australian gold supply. Well, I can tell you all that we have managed to fully fund a gold process. The gold is there. It is an amazing outcome for us. And Brad has just said, if he gets blackmailed to get his bonus univals exchanged at 7-1, what other option than legal does he have? And I don't actually know, Brad. I've pondered that thought myself many times. So we have access to Australian gold. It's here in Australia. If there's a problem, I can get in the car and drive there and sort it out. I can't do that today with the issues that we're all dealing with overseas. So it works like this. Physical gold is one of our support stands. Digital gold is another one, and our trading platforms are the third one. Bitcoin, Ethereum, lots of cryptocurrencies, gold and silver. And I'm excited by the options we found. I'm excited that we have better options than Carat Bars are offering us. Much better. So the physical gold, it's Australian based. They've got a lot. We're not going to run out. They've got free storage, free insurance, a much better price, 2 to 5 day delivery. Silver is an option that's coming, and digital gold is coming. Now, we've had to have a number of meetings about this with them and to talk through the implications, but they're on board with all of it. They got excited when we started to talk about a digital gold option. When they got their head around what it meant, it was interesting to see the look on their faces. And yes, Brad, no duties or excise fees getting your gold delivered. It is a simple process. So let's just talk about briefly the compensation plan. We'll have more details when we get the numbers physically verified, but at this stage, it looks like it's better than we had before. There's only one pack. You can use the assets in Carat Bars to make money in this business. The uni level is almost identical to what we had before, but better. The dual team is almost the same, and the long-term incentive is far better. And there's direct commission on gold sales. We did not ever have that before. We used to have units in the Carat Bars business. When someone bought gold, we got units accrued. But this will actually have direct commissions attached to the gold. And it is much cheaper. Much cheaper. Should I say that again? It's much cheaper. So now I'm going to play a little video about how bad we think it is going in Australia, because this guy lives in Brisbane that does this channel, and he has discovered some information from Victoria, given that they're in lockdown, that I think is startling.
To pay their mortgages. Let's have a look.
97%.
Hello everyone, Florian Heiser here, and welcome to another episode of Heiser Says. Grab your stein of coffee and let's have a look at this article from the Daily Mail Australia discussing, well, the significant number of people that are struggling to pay their mortgages in some areas of Melbourne. Now you've got the lockdowns. We've got, well, a cash rate that is just ludicrously low. I haven't bothered to update the chart in months. 0.25%. Mortgage rates that you can get on your mortgages, some people are below 2% for some of them. 3%. It's very, very cheap to get money. You've got mortgage holidays until March. They're ending at the end of this month, but some are still going to apply until March. You've got the ability to trade while insolvent. If you have a company, you can just take on debts knowing that you can't afford to repay them. Doesn't matter. You won't get in trouble. You won't be personally liable. You've got JobKeeper, government subsidizing businesses, keeping them going because, well, government forced them all to shut down. You've got an inflated job seeker payment. And you've got people that are in this all struggling to pay their mortgages. You've got mortgage stress going through the roof. What is going to happen here, guys? Because we're seeing, one side they're telling us, quick now, buy property, buy property. This morning we looked at an article that had all these examples of paying above the reserve. People are doing it. People are doing it, guys. So let's look at this. With all that in mind, let's have a look at this. So a devastating map shows the Great Australian Dream being shredded in Melbourne. A staggering 97% of residents struggling to pay their mortgages in some suburbs. Now, here's the question I'll put you. Is it still the Great Australian Dream? Having the quarter-acre block, the house, the yard to play in, the room to grow veggies, play backyard cricket? Or has that disappeared now? How many blocks you've got, barely 10-metre frontage, 12-metre frontage? Tiny little house taking up the entire block, no room to breathe, no room to play. It doesn't matter, people don't have kids anymore, do they? Ordinary Melburnians are struggling under draconian lockdowns, with up to 97% of home borrowers unable to pay their mortgages in some suburbs. Melbourne is home to 7 of Australia's 10 worst postcodes for mortgage stress, where home borrowers can't service their loans and pay their bills on time. Victorian Labor Premier Daniel Andrews' Stage 4 lockdowns are financially hurting young, growing families in the suburbs, and the prospect of more restrictions are causing more businesses to close down. Now, we saw that yesterday. We even saw in a video yesterday a gymnasium that had was falsely identified as a hotspot, and it has damaged his business. It has damaged the guy's business. He's now contemplating letting people go because he can't afford to run otherwise. There is a huge economic price that we're paying, and the question needs to be asked again and again. Was it worth it? Is it worth it? Is the sacrifice that we're making worth it? Because it doesn't feel like it. It seems crazy. The big banks in September are also auditing borrowers to see if they can start servicing their loans again after 6 months of mortgage repayment holidays. I mean, we didn't have mortgage repayment holidays in the recession Australia had to have, did we? I'm just bringing up a chart here, everyone, to show you all just, well, how dramatic the GDP fall we had is. And I know I need to bring this into my deck, but still, let's look at that fall. Let's go to the max data to see. See this little tiny fall here? See that? That's the recession Australia had to have. That's the last recession we had. Yeah. Yeah, this is normal. Completely normal. Unemployment too is tipped to hit double-digit figures by Christmas for the first time since 1994. And here we have a map, and I've brought it up on another screen. So these are blue are 8% and below households in stress, where red is above 89%.
Now they're pretty confronting numbers, aren't they? 89% mortgage stress. I don't need to exaggerate or tell you how bad this is now, but we haven't seen the worst of it yet. We haven't seen the trickle-down effect. It's going to get worse. And every week or so, the economic news gets worse. Don't panic, Jonesy. We got gold, baby. So let's have a quick look at the numbers. Gold is up again today. And, wow, it's looking like 21.91% annual. Go and find a banker who can do that. So watch this space for the breakout, because there is a breakout happening. We are moving into an environment that absolutely brings us up to where we're at. So we're going to get the trickle-down effect of this event quickly. It's going to change everything that we do on a daily basis. And we're here to make sure that everybody in the team gets an opportunity, because there are all sorts of things happening in the world. Let's make sure that we follow along and do our own due diligence and find out what's the best outcome for everybody. Has anyone got any questions on the information we've put out there tonight? You want to type in? Do you want to unmute? Actually, I could ask Mr. Michael. Where are you? Mr. Michael Crampton. There you are.
Yep, I'm here.
Excellent. Mate, you've had a really brief overview of what we've talked about with the Australian gold supplier.
Yeah, sure.
What were your thoughts on what you saw in the potential compensation plan?
Yeah, it's a good question. Thanks, Derek. For my wife and I, it's probably important for me to answer that question like this, that knowing that you and Jan and Dan were coming over to see us, he came over on the weekend, and my wife and I, knowing that all three of you were coming over, it was important for my wife and I, for us not to have any preconceived ideas. That was important to us. Okay. We knew you were going to come and share some information. What it was about, we had no idea. But whilst you were here, we made it our place to view the information as if we were someone who was looking at this for the very first time. Because we've seen things like this before, and at times it's left us confused, baffled, and scratching our heads. So we thought, no, we need to look at this totally as if it's a new person. When you share that information, given that my wife hasn't seen as many of these as I have, it was her that started off the general response, if you like, which was, wow, this is simple. This is easy to understand. It's not complicated. And by the time you'd finished, Derek, it left us both very excited and very keen to get going with it.
Very good. Thanks, Michael. We hope that this plan will give us everything we had before and more. It's an outcome that has taken some discussions and phone calls and meetings, but it gives us an Australian option where we don't have to worry about customs declarations. We don't have to worry about 6 or 8 week deliveries or 3 months deliveries on our gold. It'll be 2 to 4 days. It should actually be 2 days, but if you order it on a Friday, there's the weekend, and then it might take till Tuesday to get to you. But you'll have a tracking number. All the deliveries will be taken care of by Toll IPEC. So very big freight company. And Mr. Serravalli says it's easier to travel with cement boots within Australia. Oh dear. Now, if we stay, what's Harry saying? If we stay with Gold Rocks and not go to Freebay, what is your recommendation for what we've already bought from Carrot Bars? Harry, we're trying to find out if you can convert physical gold and cash gold into V999. That's actually a great outcome. What we can't find out is what are the implications of that. We can't find out who V999 is. We can't find out where's the smart contract. If we can't get those questions answered, I'm going to suggest you might want to get your gold shipped to you. We don't know what the rate is. You're right, Dan. I mean, just questions as long as your arm, and we just can't get them answered, and I'm very uncomfortable with that. Hence, we've gone and found an Australian supplier that we can actually kick the door in. Well, that's metaphorically speaking. To get inside the facility is 2 locked rooms, bulletproof glass, all that sort of stuff. So, but we can go there and say, where's this person's delivery? And they're happy for someone to do that. They're not set up to deal with the public. So 25 people turning up to have a look about isn't going to happen. We've got live pricing from them, and we'll have audited gold accounts, which I love. 31st of October. 31st of October. We're toying with the idea of what we do on the 31st of October. If you can give it some thought, those of you that have emailed Carolyn to see whether you're going or not, if what's happening is going to impact whether you go or not, we probably need to know, because we need to make a decision in the next week or so about whether we're going to be there. Give them an opportunity to rebook if they need to. Dan says, Jan and I will be going anyway. What's that about? Mr. Saravalli, we are having a afternoon of debauchery at the German restaurant. It would have been at Enzo's in Adelaide, except Adelaide is not in Queensland. So it's just about going along and having a laugh and and having a really good time. It's a fantastic place. The couple that own the place are really, really fun. They make it a great day. So if you can all have a think about whether you're going to go, we need to let, Brad, why don't you have a function at Enzo's and we'll join up on Zoom. That'd be a cool idea. We could have a COVID Zoom fest. How do we go about chasing up our new cards? Coraline, if you email to support@carrotbars.com and say, now I would only do this if you have money in your wallet that you need access to. If you don't have any pending commissions, then there's no point. You're going to go through a whole roadmap, because I'm told that Freebay has a different card system. Derek does, but I don't. Okay. So send an email to support@carrotbars.com. Now, it doesn't matter which email address you use. If you send it to Carrot Bars, they will tell you to go to Card Portal. If you send it to Card Portal, they'll tell you to go to Carrot Bars. But at least you've got a ticket in the system. Someone will pay attention. I'll send you an email in the morning with the wording that we've used for other people. There is Card Portal. Yep. Okay. Anybody got any more questions? I have to tell you, this is the most excited I've been about this business in a very long time. We have really kicked some goals with this Australian gold supplier. We have come from Miss Shane. I will do that as soon as they give me an answer. We've got some phone calls in with people that we're expecting to get returned in the next 24 to 48 hours. We'll make that happen. When is all this launching? We will make an announcement next Sunday. We will have the ability to buy gold on a week today. Does it have a minimum buy? Yes, it does, Harry, but we've set up a system where you can quite literally put $20 a week into your wallet and that will process into gold. They can't handle a $20 order, but we've set up a wallet system so that our end of it can, and we will make that all happen for you. So it's designed to create the ability for those of us that want to buy gold to do it in small amounts. And I have to say, I'm excited by it. It's really, really excited. To access into the new deal, we will be able to use what you've got in CarrotBit. Well, so we'll be taking our CarrotBit assets out, or some of them, depending on what they tell us between now and the 15th of October. And you'll be able to use that to generate income in the new system. And we put a lot of work into making that happen. So
what size are the actual
the
actual gold options, Derek?
Say again?
What size are the actual gold options and silver options, for that matter?
Yep, the silver and gold will both be a dollar amount. So you can spend $100, you can spend $50. It will buy that much gold, and it will go in your wallet. So you could do $1,000 in a lump sum. Doesn't matter. And then you get to decide if you want it shipped. Do you want 1 ounce bars, half ounce bars, 10 ounce bars? You get to pick that, and it'll be delivered as you specify.
Okay, that was actually what I was after. So the minimum size is half an ounce?
A minimum size is half an ounce to get shipped. And other than that, you could get to pick what you want them put into.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
No worries. Phil, I'm not sure if that's a real email address. That's the Freebay system. There was support at cardportal.com was one I used the other day, but whichever email address you send it to, I would personally start with Carrot Bars because they're responsible, and they will then send you to the right people, I hope. I have lots of backwards and forwards and all that. Some of mine got freed up. I don't know why some, but most of them have at least we've sent emails. Jenny, good on you. So to confirm, it's just a savings account to accrue gold, then deliver it when it's worth it. Yes, that's correct, Brad. It is available. I mean, you could buy as much of it as you want, but it's set up as a savings account and you withdraw it when you want it. The other great thing about this operation is if you get half a kilo into your gold savings account and you decide you want to cash out, they will buy it off you. You don't have to take it anywhere. You don't have to get it assayed. You don't have to get it tested at a bullion dealer. They'll just buy it off you and pay cash. So make sure that you get all of that stuff. Check Chris question. Chris, I don't see a Chris question. Here we go. Can't see a Chris question. Yep, they will pay on the spot price. Carrot Bars is asking one of my affiliates about his 35% KBC bonus. Interesting. Spot price at the time, so buy at today's spot, store it free, then sell it back to them at the new spot price. Yes, if the price goes up $100 an ounce, when you go to sell it, they will pay you the new spot price. Chris's question, what does this mean? Is the idea registering with Gold Rocks as an independent platform to buy and sell gold? Gold Rocks will be the conduit into all of these systems. We will remain independent and just as an education service so that people can get help, get directed to the right places. The independent gold service is built already. They have a lot of gold in the vault and they would love to sell more of it. Hence, when we opened the door, they were very interested. If you're still using Social Oxygen, I would edit your post so it doesn't say Carrot Bars, so it says gold. Because as far as I know, the gold supplies will come out of Freebay from here on. But again, haven't actually had that confirmed. Which has the Carrot Bars link. If you're editing your post, take out the references to Carrot Bars. If you're going to go with Freebay, then we'll put in about Freebay. Yes, on the Social Oxygen page. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for coming along. We hope we gave you some information that was interesting. To say I'm excited about what we've got is an understatement. It's amazing. And thanks, Brad. Thanks, Jenny and Doug. Thanks, Vivian. Thanks, Grant. We have a lot of new things to discover in the coming weeks. So thanks everybody for joining us. We will see you on the golden beaches of the world.